So hello friends, once again welcome back in our video series of C programming by TechBooster. So friends, here in this video we'll learn about pointer arithmetic. So here in this video basically what we'll see, what are the arithmetic operations possible with our pointer. So what is our pointer? Pointer is a special type of variable which can store the address of another variable. So here our first point is we can add or subtract an integer 2 from an address. Like pointer is nothing but an address. So whenever we consider any integer, we can either add it or we can subtract it from our address. So let me give you an example here. So here in this case, you can see I have considered an array consisting of 8 elements. So here I have 8 elements which are of type integer. Now here, if I talk about their address, so you can see here the address of my first element is 100, then the address of my second element is 104, because what we know, depending on our compiler, our size of int data type is either 2 or 4, and here in my case as I'm using 32-bit compiler, my size of integer is 4 byte. So here that's the reason the difference between my address is 4. My first address is 100, then 104, 108, and so on till 128. So whenever you add any integer with an address, that is nothing but what we are doing, we are moving towards our next address. So here basically if we add 1 within your address, we'll move to our next address. If we add 2, we'll move 2 steps towards our next address, and so on. So let me show you this one. So here let me consider an integer, let it be a equals to 10, and let me consider a pointer ptr equals to and a. Okay, so now if I want to print the address of a, let me use my printf function. Address of a is %u / n, ptr. Okay, so this will give me the address of a. So once you run this one, you can see this is your address. This is your address. Now if you add any integer, like here in this case, if I add ptr equals to ptr plus 1, so what I am doing, I am basically incrementing it by 1. What we can write it, we can also write it as ptr plus plus. Now let me show you one operation first. Let me comment this one, and here in this case let me copy it. Address, new address of a is ptr. So now once you run this one, here basically what will be our value, you can see my first address is 6422036 and my new address is 6422040. That is, we have incremented by 4 byte. That is the reason of our int data type. Here we have used our int data type. That is the reason we are incrementing it by 4. Similar is the case with your p++. This is our post increment. So let me now comment this particular line, and if you run this one, you will have this similar output. So here you can see we have the same output. Here we are incrementing it by 4 because of our int data type. Similarly, here in this case, if I want to increment it by 2, so what I can write? So what I'm doing, I'm incrementing it by 2, ptr plus equals to 2. So here what I will do, I will increment my value by 8. That is 4 into 2. Now once you run this one, you can see this is your first address 6422036 and the new address is 6422044. Difference between them is 8. So this is the way how we can add any integer to our pointer. I hope this one is clear. Now let me show you considering another data type. So here in this case, let me consider character C, let me consider pointer as well, pointer C1 equals to and C. Let me also consider float f, pointer f 1 equals to AND F. Okay, now let me just copy this line. Address of C is C1. Let me increment it by 1. Let me write it as C1 plus plus, and new address of C is C1. Now if I run my program here, in this case we know the size of our char data type is 1 byte, so we'll basically increment our address by 1. Once you run this one, you can see size of C is 6422019 and new address of C is 6422020. Here we are incrementing it by 1. Similar will be the case with our float. Size of our float is 4, so we'll either increment it by 4 or decrement it by 4 depending on our program. So let me now show you the decrementing condition here. So let me once again use my printf function and let me consider address of F. Address of F is %u, and here what I will write is F1. Now what I'll do, I will use my decrementing condition. Let it be F1 minus minus. And now once again if you print this one, new address of F is F1. Now if I run this one, you can see we'll decrement it by 4. You can see address of F is 6422012 and new address of F is 6422008. So guys, this is the way how you can perform your addition or subtraction of an integer with your pointer, and I hope this one is clear. Now let me consider the array that I've shown you in my slide. So here if I consider my array, let me just clear all this line and let me consider an array here. Let it be your type int and let the name of my array be A, and I'll be consider 4 numbers here and let all my elements be 10, 20, 30, 40. So these are my 4 elements. Now here in this case, let me consider my pointer ptr equals to AND a 0. Okay, so I'm considering my first element, and now if I want to print address of this first element, printf address of A0 is %u /n comma ptr. Okay, now let me run this one. Okay, so you can see this is the address. This is the address of A0. Now here in this case, if I perform few other operation, let me copy this line. New address of one is okay. So here in this case, if I perform your pre-increment, this is our pre-increment. Now if you run this one, here basically what we'll do, we'll increment it by 4. We'll increment it by 4 because of this int data type. You can see this is your 6422016 and this is your 6422020. Now what will be the case here in this case if I use an asterisk symbol or value add address operator? So now what will be your output? So here you can see you have 2 operators and these are our unary operator. So whenever you have this unary operator, then you need to move from right to left. You need to move from right to left. So in your right, first of all, what you have is your plus plus operator. So first of all, what we'll do, we'll increment our pointer, and then we have this value at address operator. Then we'll check the value what we have in that particular address. So here, once you increment your value, then you'll move to this particular address. You'll move to this particular address. Let me show you this one as well. Let me first of all clear this one and let me consider another pointer here. Int star ptr1 equals to and a1. This is the address of my first element. Let me copy this line. So here in this case, this will be your A1. Now this one will be your PTR1, and now once you run this one, so here basically what I am doing, first of all I'm getting address of A0 and then I'm getting address of A1. So once you run this one, you can see here, first of all what I am doing, I am getting the address of A0, that is your 64222016. Then I'm getting address of A1, that is your 6422020. Here I have difference of 4 because here my data type is int. Similarly, in my third line, what I am doing, I'm incrementing my PTR. I'm incrementing my PTR by 1. So this will give me the address of my second element, that is your 6422020. So this is nothing but our incrementing operation, which we have seen just now. Now here in this case, if we use an asterisk symbol here or evaluate address operator, so here what I am doing, I am using two operator. One is your plus plus and the other is your asterisk symbol. One is your pre-increment and the other is your evaluate address operator. And both of these are unary operator. So when you have two unary operator, in that case you need to move from right to left. We'll move from right to left. So in our right, first of all we have is our pre-increment. So first of all we'll increment this particular address and then we'll check out the value what we have in that particular address. So once you increment this one, we'll come to our next address and then we'll check out our value, and our value will be 20. So once you run this one, you can see your output here will be 20. You can see your output here is 20. Similarly, if I use this asterisk symbol here, now what I am doing, first of all we'll perform this value address operator. So here PTR is nothing but the address of A0, and once we use this asterisk symbol, we'll get the value that we have in this particular address, and our value is 10. So first of all we'll have 10 and then we will use our incrementing condition. So we'll increment it by 1, and as 10 is an integer, incrementing it by 1 will give us 11. So now our output will be 11 here. Once you run this one, you can see my output here is 11. So guys, I hope this concept is clear and these are very important for you all. Now let's move back towards our slide and check out what are the other operations possible with our pointer. So here you can see we cannot multiply an integer to an address. Multiplication is not possible. Multiplication of an integer with an address is not possible. Similarly, you cannot divide your address with any integer. That is not possible because these two things will not give you any logic. So these operations are not possible. Similarly, you cannot add, multiply or divide two addresses. Like if we consider two addresses, you cannot add, multiply or divide two addresses, but you can subtract two addresses. If you consider two addresses, you can subtract them, but you cannot add, multiply or divide. So let me show you this subtract operation here. So here in this case, what we have is our PTR and the other is our PTR1. So if we want, we can subtract it, and subtracting it will give us what value? Let us see that. So let me use printf. Subtracting to address percentage u. Now here what I'll do, I'll use PTR1 minus PTR. Okay, so what will be my value here? Now here if I run this particular program, the value of my subtraction will be 1. You can see the result is 1. So why am I getting 1? Here our formula is the difference between your address divided by the size of your data type. Here the difference between my address is 4 and the size of my data type is 4. So after dividing, we are getting our output as 1. Here 1 basically means the difference between your addresses. Here you can see the difference between these two addresses is 1. That's the reason our output here is 1. Let me give you another example that will make it more clear. Like here in this case, if I consider my fourth element, this will be your 3. And now let me just comment out this line. Let me also comment this line as of now. And here in this case, if I run this particular program now, you can see the difference between your address will be your 12, that is 4 into 3, 12. Now you can see here address of A0 is 6422016 and address of A3 is 6422028. Our difference here is 2. Now once we perform this subtract operation, our output will be 3, that is 12 divided by 4. Let me uncomment this line, and once you run this one, you can see your output here will be 3. You can see subtracting 2 address is 3. So guys, this is our subtract operation, that is subtraction of 2 addresses. So with this, I will be winding this video here. I hope your pointer arithmetic is clear. Now you need to practice all these things, and once you are done, you can move forward towards our next video. So we'll see you in my next video. Till then, goodbye and take care.